Oh, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the world's greatest podcast brought to you by Hayden's House. What?
Wow, what's that got to do with it?
Hayden today has made so much money at Cheltenham, everybody. He's decided to buy us all a house each. He's absolutely caking in money from his Cheltenham
I
winnings
owe it all to Wilco.
that he got from Wilco.
Well, you better pay up then if you owe it all to
Better
me.
pay up, better pay. Anyway, we are back live. We're here to cause a bit of carnage for the next whatever along. Pre-warning to everybody. I've been having some IT issues just before we came on. I've got Bro actually down this weekend. He's been trying to fix it. So just pre-warn you, we could drop out at any time. So just putting that out there, which is one of the joys of being back live. But tonight we are talking about how to deal with injuries, but not like you've got to put ice on it and put your leg up and rest it. I'm talking about the stupid stuff that you might do or the things that you think of and get in your own way. And I want to deal with that. I want to deal with the people who are just sitting there doing nothing instead of getting busy and getting active and getting back to running. Okay. So we're going to help you all out with that because you need a strategy. But before we do, I have decided to start this week by picking a fight with somebody. Does what? No, I'm telling you now, I've got to write up. Wilco, sharpen your pencil, call the lawyer. Because this did. Now I may be going off on a tangent here. So I'm happy, very happy to be pulled back from the brink of legal ramifications by my team, my colleagues. Okay, but there is a what's the thing, Wilco? A publication called Runner's World.
Oh, I've heard of that.
I don't know if anyone heard of that. It's some thing that people read on their thing on social media. Well done, by the way, Runner's World. There's a lovely picture of my best friend Harry Styles. Harry Styles broke 3 hours in the marathon. And so can you. Use this plan to run your fastest race yet. So what really irritates me about that is that they are basically, firstly, I get why they're using Harry, but they're just saying, if you use this plan, you can run sub-3. So any Herbert who reads that, some young guy or girl thinks, right, Harry can do it. If I follow this plan, I'm going to run sub-3. Guess what's going to happen if they do that? Anyone care to guess?
I should think it's unlikely
and they'll probably get injured. Maybe they just ran, I don't know, first marathon, 4:15, 4:30. But according to the Runner's World, if I can follow this plan, I'm going to run my fastest yet. It takes no account of the ability of that person, their background, anything. I think, to be honest with you, that they're putting this out, they should be ashamed of themselves. I think it's a disgrace. I think these people pushing this out and turning around and saying, if you follow this, you're going to run your fast. That is dangerous because people read that because it's got Harry Styles on it, right? And fair play to Harry because he's making running popular in that generation, yeah? But some of these people are going to follow that and all they're going to do is get injured. It's driving me nuts. Can anyone else feel my anger?
Isn't there, though, some part of responsibility on the people who are reading that to think,
no,
well, this ain't true.
No, you've got to remember, people are taking this at face value because it's in a what was, I would class, a decent publication until I read this. And they're saying that. I mean, I totally understand you. You've got to say to you, well, you've got to be a bit thick if you're going to go and do that. But people will do it. And that's the thing. It's like when they get their runner apps, they go, oh, yeah, I'm going to go sub-3 because I saw Hugo do it on TikTok. What are you basing that on? Well, I ran 5K the other day, in like 28 minutes. What? Do you know what I'm saying to you? It's driving me up the wall because all it's doing is younger girls and guys who are following this because they're going into it blind and then getting injured. And they wonder why they're getting injured. There's like a guy on TikTok. He's absolutely infuriating me. He's going out and he's doing a track session before having an MRI for a stress fracture, possible stress fracture. Why would you go and do a track session before you go and have an MRI? And people are watching this and going, oh, this guy runs this. It's absolute madness, and no one's pulling them up on it. I did warn you.
Well, it changes now. You are.
I did warn you. So, Hayden, you've, as always, kept counsel.
I'm just thinking about I might go and buy it tomorrow, see if I can run some free. I fancy that.
Yeah. By the way, I downloaded it. I'm now on it.
Yeah.
No, it is terrible, isn't it? But it's the world we live in. It's this whole socials world. When you see people, you joke about all the time about the TikTokers and things. See loads of people, their expectations are just so unrealistic and so short term, and it's difficult because you want to shake people and tell people it's the influence they have over others. You just it's scary. It is
honestly,
scary.
And this one guy, yeah, he keeps going out and getting injured. Then he'll go and run a new personal best. Then he'll get injured again with shin splints. It's like, what are you doing? Like, if I was coaching you, you wouldn't be. I'd stop you immediately. But doing a track session before an MRI, I mean, why would you do that?
I think the problem with the social media thing is that it produces quick solutions. We live in a world where people want to do things instantly, and they want instant plans for everything, not just marathon running, everything. They want instant solutions for everything, and they want everything to be easy. When we all know loads of things, not just marathon running, loads of stuff that you have to do. You have to be dedicated. You have to put in years of practice and things like that. Exactly. There's all sorts of covering all sorts of different stuff.
Wilco, what gets me is that with this is that it's runner's world. And I think, I think that, to be honest with you, is bloody irresponsible. A really good magazine, a really good publication that's got a huge following, to turn around and say, Harry Styles broke 3 hours in the marathon, and so can you. Use this plan to run your fastest race yet. Firstly, they're trying to profit off of it by getting people to click and all that sort of stuff. And then they're actually saying to the people, this audience that they know, that generation that wants to be like Harry, yeah, that you can do it as well, but you've got to follow this plan. Total contrary to that, yeah, I saw something really good on TikTok today. Who was interviewing I think he was an endurance something or other. I can't remember exactly what he was, but he was talking about the patience needed. And the time needed to do this sort of thing, and how long the program needs to be, and what the sort of things you need to be considering about to even get to that place where you could possibly think about running a sub-3 marathon. Yeah, it was brilliant what the guy was saying, because it was absolutely true. And he was talking about patience, consistency, patience. But what really sent me the other way was the fact that it was runner's world. If it was just some urban, like we're getting with all these influencers with their coaching badges, where none of them have done the coaching things, but then they're taking on just runners because they think they can coach them with no qualifications. Yeah. But this is Runner's World magazine, and that's why it sent me the other way, because I just think it's poor form, and they shouldn't be promoting that kind of thing.
I take your point completely. The fact that where it's come from is disappointing.
Exactly. Anyway, welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, nice to see you, mate.
Normal services resumed.
Well, there we go.
You're welcome. Imagine if that was live at the National Running Show. How quickly do you reckon I would have lasted on there? They love it. They love it. And what's even amazing is we've actually got a live audience tuning in. I thought we would record this and there'll be like 3 people now. But we're back to 1 million people watching this live. Can you imagine? Because this will go out as a podcast as well. And thanks, by the way, I've got to give a shout out to everybody. Thank you very much to everybody who's been listening and watching all the sort of pre-records that we've been doing. And I hope you have been enjoying the different style of content that we're doing. And I tell you what was a good one was the half marathon. I don't know if you boys saw that. We did a half marathon show, and that got some really good feedback. So thanks, Evan. Right, but I wanted to get into injuries. We're not going to. I've wasted 9 minutes already talking nonsense. I wanted to get into the injuries because someone in the room, but we don't want to talk about it. Someone in the room may have got injured. Okay, and we're not going to mention who it is, but that person is now on the injury bus. Now, Hayden has been on the injury bus. And what I want to talk about more than anything is the strategy mentally, right? What you can do. Because if you get bad news and says you can't run for 8 weeks, right? what tends to happen is they say that, but they don't go, but by the way, here's the plan to get you back. They just say, don't run for 8 weeks, which I think, by the way, again, just starting on everyone tonight, because I'm going out in a blaze of glory here. I'm like Billy the Kid. Physios and doctors, actually. Doctors, you need to check yourselves, because what a doctor will do, they'll go, oh, yeah, by the way, sorry about that. You've got a stress factor. No running for 8 weeks. Let me know when you're all right. Bosh, put the phone down. And you're like, well, hang on a minute. Running's my life. I run for my mental health. I run for this. I run for that. I am a runner. You said I can't do that. Nothing, like no running for 8 weeks. What am I meant to do? Oh, yeah, you can start physio in 8 weeks. But hang on a minute, because there is stuff you can do. Now, that can look like a different, depending on the injury, yeah? But there's always something you can do. Now, that could be depending on what the injury is. But the doctor should turn around and go, I think, I appreciate you're a runner, so here's your options. You can go swimming, but you can't use your legs, so put one of them float things between your legs and do that. You can work on, I don't know, yoga. We know you can do walking, so make sure you're doing this walking and maybe elevate that, and give you some sort of plan and structure for a road to recovery, so then you can start your run return. Does that make any sense, guys? So, but what the doctors are doing at the moment is they're just going, yeah, you're injured. Don't do nothing for 8 weeks. Well, I'm sorry, but I can't not do anything for 8 weeks. That doesn't work for me. And I think that's where there's a little breakdown in communication. So my first piece of advice to anybody listening to this is, if you get that diagnosis from your doctor and they turn around and say, yeah, sorry, pal, you've got a stress fracture, you can't do nothing. The first thing you should do about it is say, well, that doesn't really work for me, son. What can I actually do? What physical activity or pastime or whatever that's going to help me in terms of the mental side of things that I can do that's going to be a progress towards my return to run walking? What activity, what cardio work, what aerobic work, what strength work, what nutrition work can I do? Do you recommend as a doctor that I can do that's going to help me get back to my start of my run return? What can I do? Because there is stuff you can do. There's always stuff you can do. And this is where we've got to be a little bit stronger, people. We can't give up the minute they turn around and go, no running for 8 weeks. Hayden, you're smiling.
No, because, yeah, I think I agree with you. And that sounds something typical that a doctor would say. I think the thing that's important is with an injury like this, I know it costs money as well, but best off seeing a physio, because a physio would diagnose exactly the same as what the doctor did, probably in more depth. And the physio will be a bit more long-term, a bit more longevity, a bit more giving you ideas and plans, I think a physio would, unless they're a crap physio, then you're buggered. But in general, a physio will give you them ideas like you just explained, whereas a doctor probably wouldn't. So I'm not sure. I don't know how people feel about it these days. I feel as though maybe just because we're runners, when you get an injury or a niggle, out of you guys, who goes to the doctors or do you go to a physio? For me, probably nowadays, I'd go to the physio. I'd skip the doctor. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
Start the physio. I'm going to give him a bit of love. Carter and George were like, boom. Actually, you need to see a doctor about this. Like, and they'll push you that way if there's something not within their remit, which I think actually shows you high class physios, right? That they'll push you that way. So they'll figure it out and go blah blah blah. But if they feel like they can't do anything with that, or you might need some extra something with it, then they'll push you to the doctor. So yeah, you're bang on actually.
I think, it's a bit of expertise, isn't it? I know, obviously, doctors are expert in their field of medicine, but because it's so broad, they haven't got almost that foresight. And we all know the NHS is overrun. Doctors have got they want you in and out the surgery, don't they? Next,
I love them.
As a physio, you've got your time.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm trying to say is, Hayden, is that you as runners, all of you, if you get yourself into that situation, you've got to have the minerals in that moment, right? Because, again, they're so busy, you ain't going to get a second chance. You've got to go in there prepped. When they turn around and say that, say, yeah, that's great. Appreciate that. Thanks for everything you do. But, and then it's that but. And then if they say, no, go and speak to your physio, then the first thing you do is go into the physio and say, right, mate, this is lovely. I've got 8 weeks left. What am I going to do? Because I can't not do nothing. That ain't me. I'm a runner. So what are you going to give me to do? And there will be stuff you can do. Even swimming with no legs is stuff you can do. No, but it's true, because you can get them float things
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but the point is, you can do something. Yeah, whether it's that stair walking thing that I see these nutters doing at the gym. By the way, has anyone ever done that?
I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah,
That's
I
good.
do all the time.
Oh, you're my heroes.
Every time I'm in there, I do 10 minutes on that before I go home.
It's unbelievable. But these ladies and blokes, but it must, I don't know whether it's good for glutes or whatever. They are smashing that thing for half an hour, 45 minutes, right? I just think I couldn't do it. I think they're unbelievable, these people. And you can see how like stiff they've got it because they're like literally trying to like walking through treacle. But again, that's something you must be able to do. Or that, you know, that stupid thing where you go like that and you look like a right Herbert. What's that thing called?
The cross trainer.
That thing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
You can do
But
that.
but I
I
would
think
just
it-
say
Yeah.
on that is it
Mm.
very much depends on where the injury is.
Correct.
So right, so let's put it out there, right? I luckily had a second opportunity to ask the questions, right?
Mhm.
So the first meeting was you've got a stress fracture in your pelvis,
Mm-hmm.
and it was literally what 2 days after I'd run Tokyo. So he and I'd had the MRI 2 weeks before that, and it
Really
was
helpful, that was.
yeah, absolutely. To be fair though, it did me a favor because
Yeah.
obviously I then ran Tokyo. But then he sent me for another MRI to check if I'd done any more damage. But then, so the first meeting, it does come as a complete shock. You're literally
course.
just like, what do you mean I can't run for 6 to 8 weeks? That's
Mm.
absolute. My first thing was, oh, brilliant. So Boston's in 7 weeks, so that'll be all right then. And he was just like, yeah, no. I mean, in my head that made sense, but you know. So then I had another MRI, and literally was like, right, the results back, the results back, the results back. As soon as I then had that follow-up meeting, I think I spoke to you and I was like, right, these are the questions that I've got for him, including number 6, can I run Boston?
6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Can I run Boston?
And then asked
I
you,
can run Boston.
everyone needs you in their corner, because I was like, right, what questions have I forgotten? You were like, when can you start running again? What does my return to running look like? Am I able to, like, literally, it was just like, okay. But the second, when I was really lucky, and I've got, like, my cousin's a physio, I've got physios who are friends, so I can lean on them in terms of that element of, right, what am I able to do? And I did ask those questions. But I think you're absolutely right. The doctor was basically, in the first consultation, I'm not going to tell you can't run. And then the next one, you can't run. And that was kind of it. And I'm like, hey, I messaged Hayden. Hayden was Googling and going, oh, you can do this, this, and this. I'm looking at it going, oh, I could probably do this, this, and this. And it's just like, damn, what am I able, you're left, I'm going to say the word bereft, because you're just like, what can I do now? I can't run.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's tough. It is hard.
And it is tough and it is hard. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's mentally destroying, and it can, over the course of those weeks, it can deteriorate your mental health so badly that if you're not on top of it, the minute that you get that diagnosis, you're basically screwed. You need to come out of there swinging, right? And saying, I'm not putting up with this shit, right? I'm going to be doing this, and this. And it doesn't matter, like I said to you, Ben, for you, like where yours is in the pelvis. I mean, you've had a shocker, because it's, what actually can you do? There is a few couple of things you can do, but okay, I'm going to concentrate on my nutrition. Yeah. So that's what I said to Ben. Focus on that, right? Work on that, because you're now not having to stuff your face full of hero boxes that you still got from Christmas, because you're not marathon training anymore. So why not, if you want to, whatever, but focus on building that side of things up and improving that side of things. So again, he's got a focus. He's got something that he can concentrate on. He can do the other bits, which is they've told him about the walking and that sort of thing, right? But you've got to take what you can get and use it, because otherwise what happens is you all sit on the injury bench and you go, woe is me. And it actually, I tell you now, it prolongs the injury, prolongs the time you're out, because you don't take the action quick enough. I said to him the other day, what about shockwave treatment? So, that's the first thing. Can I do that? What can I do? What can we do to speed this process up? Can I get in I don't know what they call them really cold things? And I'm not talking about Iceland.
The ice
Yeah,
bath?
no, the Cairo chamber thing.
Cryogenic.
Yeah.
Look, it's all cost money, but I'm just saying to you, what's out there nowadays that can, and then you, like Hayden said, go to the physio and say, right, I've got an opportunity because some people have got private medical, some people don't. But I've got the opportunity. I can go and sit in this really cold place for 10 minutes, freeze my nuts off. But apparently it's going to help. What does the physio say? Yeah, lovely, get involved. Or like people, they get these twinges and they get this and that. Have you thought about dry needling? No. Well, go and ask about it. Like, go and get it sorted. Don't just sit there just because they say, no running. Well, what can you do to help me get back? What can you do? Don't sit there, take my 50 quid and give me nothing. That's useless. Because otherwise, people's mental health will deteriorate. So it's a warning to all of you. Do not take the easy option and sit there and feel sorry for yourself. It's not on the cards anymore. Anybody who's listening to this, you all got a cowboy up and you all got to get onto that physio and say, listen, mate, I'm not having this. What can I do to get back to running quicker? What can we do to keep my aerobic base at a constant? What can I do cardio-wise? That could be just like walking, but not just walking, but I mean, like, but you know what I mean? Like you see it, like I see there's a geezer at the gym. He's definitely coming back from an injury because he's absolutely destroying it walking. The whole time that I'm in there on a slight incline, it's all he's doing. He's walking. He's obviously coming back from something, but he's dedicated. Every time I'm in there, that bugger's in there. Fair play to the geezer because it's the only thing he can do. So that's the best thing to do. Put that negativity that you may have had from thinking this is the worst thing that can happen to me and turn it into a positive and start that road to recovery immediately as soon as you get that diagnosis. Hayden, you've just come back from major surgery. You look shocked.
No, it's no, I totally agree with you. I think one of the keys to sort of staying positive is that it's the acceptance of what you've got. For me, that's a big thing. And I was almost lucky in a way because mine was a long-term problem. I knew mine was coming a long way off, and I was going to have the operation last sort of April, May, but then I was able to put it back thinking I know I can get by. It's not doing any further damage, but I knew it was coming. So I'd accepted it from a long time out. So I think that helped to help me stay positive. I knew it was coming from a long way out. So when I come and I had the operation, as soon as I come out, it's like, you're not running for 3 months. Like, I know. Yeah. I've been told this. I've known it for ages. So I've looked at it, I've researched it, spoke to people about it. And it for me, that acceptance is one of the biggest things of being able to be positive. It's when you think to yourself, like, I'm not going to accept this. I can't do this. I want to do this. I know I can run. I'll be all right with this one. And then you have setbacks, and that's when everything gets really negative. For me, that acceptance and understanding as well comes with acceptance of knowing what the injury is, maybe even how you got it. I think that's a big thing. Looking at the reason why you've got that injury. Is that because of the way you're training? Are you strength training correctly enough? Is your running form bad, Ben? Is just all these sorts of
It's since I've corrected my running form that I've got a stress fracture.
I
blame you.
No, I'm sorry, right? There's two big takeaways here. Firstly, Hayden, you're meant to be the nice guy, right?
You don't do this when I'm on, normally.
That's a bit strong. And secondly, the poor guy's in the gutter. I'm trying to build him up, right?
Okay,
for him, and you just kicked him right between the legs.
Okay, let's rewind the last about 15 podcasts when all you do is rip the piss out of me about being injured. My back is saying to me, apparently you got an injury. Oh, he's injured, is he?
Sorry,
apparently his back's hurt. He's got a bad back.
I didn't realise you had a back injury. Did you?
There you go.
Have you?
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Ben, tell the viewers how you done it.
Well, so I think. And obviously you'll never know, but I think it was doing Snowdonia Marathon, genuinely.
But was you recommended to do that by anybody, or not recommended to do that by anyone? I'm just trying to think if someone
maybe not
said
you, but
did someone say that's a stupid idea?
Listen, it was a great experience, and I think actually it was. Right. Listen, it was it was not recovering afterwards that I think has
such a great
kind of caused. And
I've
got that. Look, I've still got my. I've still got my medal.
I'd have chucked that in the bin.
I've only just remembered it's there. But look, I think to Hayden's point, it is acceptance, right? And I genuinely, I'm sat here gutted. I'm not getting my 6 star this year, but I'm in a really lucky position of I ran Chicago, and that was quicker than the time I put it. So I know I've got my Boston time for next year. So that's really, and that has massively helped me. I finished Tokyo. I spoke to you the afternoon after I finished Tokyo. I was in pain running Tokyo, probably from mile 3 or 4. Got to 19 miles and was just like walked ran some more, walk, and it was agate. But you know, I'm there. I have to finish. Like I had to finish it. But I said to you that was so tough. And so when I got when I got the diagnosis 2 days later, I was like, this makes so much sense. Everything clicks into place. Spent, you know, was like, do I do Boston? You know, almost that element of do I do Boston or not? You know, because I'd run it. But then I was, you know, actually, as I said, I'm lucky that I've got the time for next year. So I don't feel that pressure, and it's made it almost a bit easier for me. And having you just kind of sending me pictures and motivational messages and just honestly, you do not want to, literally there's like this
before and afters.
Yeah, exactly. This will be you in six
if
weeks
you do nothing,
you don't do any exercise. And it is. And so I've then challenged myself in terms of I can do upper body work, and literally the cardio I can do is the assault bike. And then actually I was kind of doing battle ropes at the gym today and stuff like that. So a bit of a HIIT workout to get my heart rate up without, you know, kind of putting strain on there. And so it's, as you say, it's thinking creatively. What can you do?
Absolutely.
What's not going to aggravate the injury? But I think it very much Hayden's point. If you've that only comes from the acceptance, and how long you take to get to the acceptance is, you know, is down to you. And it is hard. Like it's crap, but you know, within the community, we're really lucky. You know, I'm certainly lucky. I've been able to chat to you guys and, you know, have that conversation and just
get abused.
And get abused. Yeah, pretty much.
Hello, I'm still here.
Oh, Wilco. I'll be fair, Wilco. No, actually, I'm going to pay Wilco a compliment. I hardly recognise you, bruv. We're going to come on to it. You've done some weight, haven't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he does. We're talking a bit. Yeah.
What I was going to say about this is, I mean, it sounds really almost pitiful, but you may look back on this and think that it's an enforced break that will do you good, because you have been absolutely caning it for the last 3 years. You've done all these marathons. You've gone from a 3:45 marathon runner to a 2:50 marathon runner. You've been working your behind off, loads of 60, 70 mile weeks, 2 sessions a day, 3 times a week, gym, absolutely smashing it. Been an absolute role model for so many people that you've done so much. And
he went and ran up and down a mountain.
Well, no, I'm not going to criticize him for that, because he's done that for the experience. It's not all about banging it out, you know, and times and things like that. He had the opportunity to do that. He'll look back on it one day and think, yeah, I enjoyed it. I ran up a mountain. You know, it's not all about, you know, ticking off, you know, your stars and all that sort of thing. There's other things out there in life to enjoy. I know, Hayden, you won't appreciate that, but there you go. But yeah, so I think, you know, a couple of months off, you know, you could come back stronger, mate, and you could be really good.
He will come back stronger. He will come
back
stronger.
And it'll give you a bit of time, and it'll give you a bit of time mentally. I know Fordy said, you know, you don't want to beat yourself up. It'll give you a little bit of time to think about where you're going and what you want to do and what sort of direction you want to go in. Now you've reached a point where you've got your sub 3, you've got your Boston Marathon time, you've got your qualification for London. Some people might think, well, what's there left to do? Do you want to go hell for leather to get 2:45, or do you want to go in a different direction and try something else? And now's the time to have a little think about these sort of things.
Trail running.
Well, indeed, he might want to do an ultra. He might want to do something else.
How would you want to do that?
Well,
Barkley Marathon.
Barkley Marathon. What? Round Bartley Park? Yeah.
But actually,
just around that lake.
A genius idea. That is a genius idea, the Barkley Marathon. And it's like you
41's version.
We shut the gate and you say you've got to do it around. I know someone, if Gemma Pedler ever listens to this,
she's online now. She's in now.
I reckon Gemma Pedler, this has got your name written all over it. The Barkley Marathon. You're the only one out of anybody I would know who would be able to do that. The Barkley Marathon. What a great video. It would be good.
Old.
That could be. Broxbourne could come out and support her.
Oh, we
could get like a gazebo up.
We'll be all over it.
And yeah, she'd have to run through all the goose poo and all that.
All over
it. It's true. No, but Wilco, going back, what you said is right. Look, it's a freak injury. Like a lot of the time, they're overuse. A lot of the time, they're, you know, through our own stupidity for doing something, in terms of too much too soon, and the basics that we all get wrong, and we all get them wrong. Yeah, myself included. I was at the physio when I was doing my Chicago block because I was putting too much load on the foot press. We found out because it's just it's the sort of thing you do. Ben's is a bit of a freak one, but as you say, you've got to look at it in terms of actually, is this actually going to do me better? Because I can take stock, I can take a break, and use that positive side of things. And like I just said, look at, we was talking about nutrition, but look at an element that you may not have been able to do. Improve your times in the pool, improve, getting used to riding what they call them bike things, getting used to doing that sort of stuff, and maybe cross training, finding another means to be able to do something. So then when you do come back to your running element, you're a lot stronger, not just physically, but also mentally. Because you say you've had that chance to reset, and it's in. And as you say, what I want to make, because I know we use Ben, but there's so many people in the same boat, because this is marathon season, half marathon season. There's a lot of people have been struck down with this sort of stuff. Unfortunately, through no fault of their own, they might have been unlucky. You might have been following the Runner's World training plan for your sub 3 with Harry Styles that you're going to run. But the point is that you may come to a point where you're having to pull out of stuff and things like that. But the message I want to give to you, when we're so close to some of these races that you may have been looking to do, is don't get down. Get a plan of recovery. Now, you might not be able to run for X period of time, but that doesn't mean you have to sit there and stuff your face full of Doritos, even though I like Doritos. You can do something. There's always something you can do. Right? So find out what that is. And as you say, accept it, get a plan, and deal with it, and look forward. And that will honestly sort that out.
I think there's also potential, you can still be involved in the sort of like the running community and things like that. Perhaps getting out there, volunteering at a park run or a race, or just seeing people, just to be around the buzz of it all.
That's a good point.
It's, that's where being in the community comes into its own, that people they'll look out for you, just even if you're meeting up after, if you usually go to a satellite group and you just want to meet up for the coffee afterwards or something like that, just being around people that's a big boost as well. I think I
also think like Wilco stumbled upon it a while ago as well, saying Ben doing 60-70 mile weeks, doing all this gym training, you're giving up a lot of your life for running, which is fine. But there's definitely 100%. All of us know we neglect certain other things, not physical things, not there's things you might have needed to do with regards to your house, or there's loads of like research things you might want to do, projects you want to get done. There's just things you might want to do. And if you've got a wife, children, maybe spend a bit more time with them, because once you're back up and fit and healthy and running and back on it,
I won't see you again.
Exactly that.
I mean,
now's the time to make that good.
Yeah, it's true. Ben's cutting my grass tomorrow.
There you go. Here he goes. That's good physio there. To be fair, with mine as well, you said trying to be involved and find something new, and this is quite a good plug for it as well. We with Chris spoke about 40 Runs Running Club TV for the longest time about getting it started, but it's both like, just haven't got the time for it. I got injured. I knew I weren't running. I had nothing else to do. I was like, now's the perfect time. We got started. That's just an example of just suddenly thinking, actually, do you know what? I've got a bit of time in my hands now. I'm not running 90% of my life. Maybe I'll just get these other things done I've been putting off for quite a while.
Yeah, and actually, bang on, Hayden. I think actually what Wilco was saying is a really good point. It's a great advert for the 40 Runs Running Club and community, but I think it's a great advert for wherever you are, whether you're in 40 Runs or not, your own ecosystem that you've got locally in terms of your running club, your running community, whether it's just like a social group, a couple of you that go out or whatever, to have that infrastructure in place, that support network, to be able to, like, as you say, Wilco, they're all going for their long run, meet them up for a coffee afterwards. Go and volunteer. We always say this. Go and volunteer at park run. Go and volunteer at races. Yeah, we're lucky within the club. How many volunteers that we provide to all the races across the country. Big shout out to Mel and the team, right? Straight away. Just want to put that out there again. But, to go and volunteer at your park run because you're on the sidelines, it's a very rewarding thing to do, yeah? Maybe start training up as a as a run director at your park run. I don't know how that works. You know, these are the sort of things that you can start, you know, using some of that time to do. So you're still getting some of that. And I know it's hard. Look, don't get me wrong. When I tore my calf muscle and I was coming along to the races and stuff like that, it was bloody awful. I didn't want to talk. I don't want to anyway. But it was awful. But it done me good, right? It done me good to go along to those races. It done me good to pretend to like want to be there, and it is good for you because it is your passion. It is your pastime. Don't shut yourself off from it. In fact, actually embrace it. Go along, volunteer, cheer people on. You know, and that can help you as well. As I say, we're very lucky with the club and the community that we've got, because I don't know another group of people that's as supportive as what we've got, right, on a genuine human level. What some people are going through within our club and community, and the fact that they're finding support from other people within that club and community, and it blows my mind, and it actually makes me emotional in some respects when I hear about some of the people who are going through stuff right now, and they are getting support from people who have been through that themselves. The fact that they found themselves through something that I put together by chance nearly 10 years ago, and that is still positively impacting people's lives when they're dealing with stuff that is so grave and so awful, and that's having a positive impact. I mean, that is incredible. Forget Ben's little stress fracture that he's done going up and down a mountain. This is like, I'm being serious, yeah? This is where having that ecosystem in place, and again, it could be on a local level for you, but mate, again, talk to people, yeah? It goes back to that same old thing, innit? Is when you can't run and you can't exercise, sometimes, you know, it all just feels like total shit. And you're like, everything feels worse, work feels worse, life just is more of a struggle, get a bit sluggish, you're eating craps, everything goes out the window, and genuinely, slowly but surely, everything goes to decline. At that point, or before that point, you've got to be talking to people, right? And you don't know who it is. You'll find somebody who's been through it, and you can have that connection with. And it's so powerful, people. Don't just sit there and go through that on your own. I'm hammering him deliberately because I know he'll sit there on his Todd otherwise, and he'll be all like feeling sorry for himself. And you know what I mean? It's
true. But genuinely, and Wilco, you make a really valid point from Park Run, right? Straight away, email my local Park Run, who I know struggle for volleys because Petri used to be RD down there. Straight away, Tuesday, emailed him. I was like, right, put me down for the next 3 weeks, wherever you need me.
Yeah,
just I'll kind of be there. And that's not like, oh, look at me, but it is a case of,
that's good,
because I know that I'll just sit in bed on a Saturday morning and do nothing. And actually, I think what's more depressing is the fact that, kind of gone through, and this is to anyone who's got their spring marathon coming up, you've done almost the crap bit through the rain,
through the wind,
dark and all that,
gosh,
and the weather's just changed, and I'm like, I just want to go outside and enjoy some dry sunshine and stuff like that. And it's like, that's more gutting than kind of anything else. But as you say, everything happens for a reason, right? I'm a believer, and you've got to look for that.
Absolutely. But I think, Fordy, you just nearly virtually touched it as well. I think realistically as well, when we look at, we won't go into politics and stuff, but what's going on in the world, and you see the horrible things that happen all over the world, and to people, as you said, in the communities, some of the things they're going through, we do have to put things into context. It's like we're big babies, all of us. You can't run for 2 or 3 months. So what? There's people that are losing their lives. There's people, in the grand scheme of things, the context, sit back. Don't be so hard on yourself and just think, you know what?
That's what I'm saying.
It's still going to be over soon enough.
That's what I'm saying to you. Get positive about this stuff, right? As soon as they turn around and say to you, it's not the end of the world. Feels it, but it ain't. Yeah. But the best way to deal with that is to have a plan. I know that's my little autistic way with always having a plan and things, but I'm telling you, have a roadmap, and it can look like totally different to sort of somebody else. But get one, because it will sort you out. Now, Wilco, I do want to move on to, because I have been incredibly impressed, young man, with your recent weight loss. Now, is this something for Paris, or is this something in general because you're worried about like other stuff, or what's the deal?
I don't worry about things.
That's good.
No, I just no, it was something that I set upon at the start of the year, and use an app counting. It's been very simple. Just sort of like keeping an eye on how many calories I've been having. I've been trying to have a bit more protein in my diet, so to help me muscles repair. During my marathon training, because I don't know if people know, but I'm doing the Paris Marathon, which is 4 weeks on Sunday.
I need to talk about that afterwards. Sorry to interrupt you. Don't let me forget. I've got something to talk about with that. Sorry, Walker. Carry on.
And and I've just been chipping away at it since the new year. Sort of like 2 or 3 pounds a week have been coming off. I've been feeling good.
Good, mate.
I'm in many ways, I'm in a fortunate position because I live on my own. It's a little bit easier because, I'm not eating crisps and chocolate and I'm not drinking and I've not got it in the house. It's not as if I've got a distraction of kids who are sort of like eating stuff. If I'm not eating biscuits, I don't have any biscuits. They're just not in the house. I've had quite a tough, I had quite a tough day yesterday because I was in the office and, because Cheltenham was on, there was lots of food.
There's a lot of money flowing about. Come on, boys, let's get involved.
No, but
let's not ring our mates and give them any tips. Keep it all in house, lads.
It's a big deal at work at the Racing Post. So there's lots of pizzas about and fat sandwiches and crisps, and so that was a bit of a slog, but not coming my way, unfortunately. So and it's been going well, and I've done the best part of just over 1.5 stones.
Yeah, you look good for a
year.
You look good. Yeah, you look good for it.
And the good thing is that I'm not feeling. It's with food and nutrition. You find there's so many. It's such a minefield. You feel something. And before, like people say, "Oh, well, you're doing a marathon plan. You don't want to go on a diet when you're doing a marathon. You're going to put up things like that." But I think by eating the sort of food that I've been eating and trying to be sensible, not just sort of like cutting down on food, but thinking about what I'm eating and trying to eat stuff that's going to be, lots of meat and eggs and chicken and like stuff that's high in protein, things like that, and not so much junk. It's doing the trick, and I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, good for you. Hayden, what was you going to say about Paris? Because I think I was going to say the same thing.
It reminded me, because I think there was a comment earlier on, someone's running Paris, and I know we touched on it before with Wilco about the drinks, and I know we're all trying to be more environmentally friendly and stuff, and the idea of this not taking your own fuel at the race, not taking your own bottles and having the refills. Everyone's been split about it. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't work. But I don't know if any of you saw the half Paris. Oh my God, did it work?
Carnage.
Did it?
Absolute carnage.
I didn't realise what they meant by refilling and how they're going to do it.
They've got it in a load of pipes, haven't they?
They're shooting
with
like
water guns.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And
are they still going to go ahead with that? Are they still going to go ahead with it? Okay.
At Paris, someone made a really good point, and it's a dangerous point. I don't know if you want to point it out, Chris. I think you read the same article as me. I think it's actually dangerous that you're going to have people at Paris that are going to go out and want to go for a time. Obviously, it's a big marathon. That station where you stop there, if you go back and look at the pictures and the footage, you'll stop there for quite a while. I say quite a while. When you're running a marathon, when you stop for 15, 20 seconds, it can seem like a long time. You're going to have people thinking, do you know what? I'm on for a good time. Sod that. I'm going to leave that station alone. And that could be dangerous. Not just that one station,
Paris,
the next one,
Paris
the same
as well, with the hills as well.
Yeah. It could be dangerous.
Yeah.
I think they're playing with people's lives. I think they need to check themselves. It's a proper marathon, that one. It's a proper event, yeah. And I 150 billion% get the sustainability stuff. I get it, right? But that is not the way to achieve it. I'll be honest with you, that's not the way to achieve it. By putting people's lives at risk because that water station was too busy, so you didn't get some fluids, and you missed it because you didn't want to queue and have some geezer sprut like thing in your mouth. I think they're people playing with people's lives. If they're that bothered about sustainability, I tell you what, if they're that bothered about sustainability, don't bother having it.
Yeah.
Like literally, sack it off. And maybe that's what they want. No, but my point is, if they're that nuts to think that filling people's water up like that with a hose is going to help, then they're on another planet. And I'd love to see the risk assessment, based on that. If you're standing there and you're, as you say, Hayden, you're going through it and you come up to it and there's a queue of whatever people, because they're busy. Aid stations are busy, and they're even busier when it's hot. I remember when I did London and it was that really hot year and we ran out of water up at Millwall because people were taking, and rightly so, taking on more. And ever since then, London Marathon have put even more water on. So give them credit, they know how to do it over here. But can you imagine over there? It's a hot day. What's going to happen over there? I think they're putting people's lives at risk. I'd love to see the risk assessment because clearly they haven't thought it through. How they've got that signed off from insurance is just beyond me. You are literally putting people's lives at risk for the sake of some paper cups. This is the point. It's paper cups. Now, I appreciate what, all the sustain. I really genuinely do. Yeah, I get that. But come on, guys. This is lunacy. It's absolute lunacy.
And I genuinely think they had paper. I'm just trying to think. Last year, I thought they had. I'm sure it was paper cups, but I'm with you. Sorry, it's easy to say it's sustainability grounds, right? I think that's
It's
a real.
cost, and it's got to be.
Yeah, it is a cost thing, and doing it then last year, it was not massively hot, but really humid. Like it was so humid when we started. And it's a tough course, and you're going through tunnel, like on the big half, and you got that tunnel, you're going through that. You said it's a fast course. It is a fast course. You push on it. That was, I think, what was I 2:53 last year on it. It is a great course, and Michael's gone out and done, whatever he's done on it, 2:38 or something. It's a good course to go and push on. That would now put me off doing that marathon. Because you just don't know how long you're going to stop. And also because you then kind of go, oh, well, I'm not going to stop there because that's a few seconds.
Don't forget, this is the marathon that makes you give them all, sign up for this medical thing as well.
Yeah.
Like you have to give all this
the medical thing now, you just do and I say just because I think it's a bit ridiculous. You just do an online course and you're ticking a few boxes. So but it is still a bit.
It doesn't make no sense. And surely, right, there's going to be other ways of making that race more sustainable than worrying about paper cups. Surely, like. I'm as always going off on one. I have no PA system.
Don't do finisher t-shirts or make people pay for finisher t-shirts.
Yeah, don't do medals or I don't know, something other than t-shirts at the end. Or there's going to be another way in terms of your I can't remember what they call it, but basically hitting those targets in terms of sustainability,
carbon neutral.
Yeah, the offset. There's going to be other ways, right, of making you hitting that than cutting out cups that people, if they don't get enough water, may dehydrate and then may become seriously ill. Yeah. It makes no sense.
It doesn't. Ben, how much you pay for Paris Marathon? Do you remember?
Where's Wilco gone, by the way?
He's got the ups. You want Paris Marathon cancelled?
He just had a text saying it's been cancelled.
He's gone to Paris now to do it.
You do it in advance. I can't remember. I want to say 100 and something, maybe.
Yeah. This is my point. Let's just say it was 110. As Chris said, make it 112 quid. Put 2 quid on every entrant. Over 30,000 people. There's 60 grand. Have cartons. It'll pay for them.
And it's a busy. And it's a busy marathon in terms of it had the world record, didn't it, like a couple of years ago, and it does have a lot of people doing it, and I
think they've got it wrong.
The other thing, right, as you say, put an extra £5 on, take that money, go and plant a load of trees. Like do you know what I mean? It's like it makes no sense.
That's why I disagree that it's this, and I'm really sorry. It's so easy to throw out the sustainability card, and because how can you argue with that? Okay, cool, it's sustainability, but I just think,
well, surely they're wasting water. Surely they're wasting water by squirting all over your face, just sitting there.
Is it coming out? Is it coming out the Seine as well?
Honestly, so I think,
Do you think there's a chance that the organisers with this, that this is why Paris has never really been considered as a world major?
What? Because the people running it haven't got a clue what they're doing. Because that's what it sounds like to me.
No, there could be issues there. It's a strange call.
I mean, it's the most bizarre decision look, for the half marathon, right? I get why they tried it. I get it. Makes total sense. Try it and all that sort of stuff. But the marathon distance needs to be respected. I was in London when somebody passed away. Yeah. You are playing with people's lives. You never know what underlying conditions people have. And unfortunately, these things come up when you're pushing your body to the absolute maximum, which is what you do in a marathon. Even if you've trained like an absolute machine, right? These things can happen. God forbid.
On the day, right?
Why put extra risk on people for the sake of some soppy cups?
And
Makes
to be
no
fair,
sense.
that Andrew just made a great point. Andrew Bush just like commented saying most city marathons find a significant improvement in air quality on the day as there's no cars driving around because all the roads are closed. That's a
As you
massive
say,
point.
it's
Doing well.
There's other things at play here, I think. But
And
again,
that's what I mean. I think it is a cost thing. And I'll say, so Snowdonia Marathon last year said they were doing the same thing, right? And they gave you the plastic cup as they do in Paris. And you got out on the course, and actually they'd made the decision. No, they did have paper cups still on course, and that's like not middle of winter, but kind of end of October. So you're not necessarily going to run it in blazing sunshine, but it's still, as you said, it's respecting the marathon distance. You need to have that out there
You've
for
got to have it.
people. Some people won't stop, and as you said, people will make that decision. How long is it to the next aid station? You don't know that.
No.
And people push, as you said, some people aren't experienced runners. People will
No.
push beyond their limits.
Correct.
And just end up, as God forbid, something will happen there. And
I know it's just and it's just a simple decision. Someone sat in a meeting room going, "I've had a brilliant idea."
I don't think it's been well publicised. Sorry to interrupt you there, because
No.
Wilco, when you signed it was only because Michael Sandford sent it to me, and I was like, "What the hell?"
I have a question, Wilco.
Yeah.
Would you have signed up for the Paris Marathon if you'd known that information beforehand?
What about the water? Yeah, I think I would. I mean, I haven't seen the footage yet from what happened at the weekend. So that'll be interesting. I've seen.
I don't think you want to watch it. We'll cut beyond. Yeah, it'll be haunting you for a few weeks.
The thought of holding a cup is not too bad. I mean, I've got this. I've used it on 2 long.
Oh, we've lost him again. Bless him. He's used
But
it on a cup. He's used it on a couple
used it
of
on long runs because
Yeah,
as
he's
soon as
training
we
with it.
found out about it, it was something flagged it to you, wasn't it?
Can you hear me
Yeah.
now? Sorry.
Yeah, you're right, Wilco. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I think it's the shock.
I've used this. I've used this on a 20 miler, so I'm quite comfortable with that. The actual carry in the water. So I will see what happens. I'm sure.
I don't think the carrying, as you said, the carrying is not the issue. I think a lot of people will carry water in a bottle or take their own fuel in anyway. That's not the issue.
Whatever.
The issue is the refilling. It's the way that they've chosen to do the refilling. It's literally just like a bunch of people in shorts and t-shirts having a water fight. It's just terrible at these stations. You just like
They got super soakers, Wilco.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like. Was
Well,
like,
I'm
I
sure-
don't want to get wet.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got 4 weeks. They've had this event. They'll take on board
could be.
what's
Well,
going to happen.
and
I'll take this bottle with me, and if I don't need it, I'll throw it in the bin.
give them
I'll
credit.
be
look.
prepared to.
that's not very
to see what
sustainable. Though,
happens.
that's not
Yeah,
very
that's not
sustainable.
sustainable. You're
Well,
basically-
Taylor Swift flies all over the world every week.
Exactly.
One plastic bottle ain't
So will half of the Paris Marathon competitors.
Well,
They'll be flying in all over.
Well, this
the
is
world.
the other
So
thing,
why
isn't it?
not?
Right? Okay, here's the thing. Don't invite people on media bibs to fly over from the UK, from the US, and all that sort of stuff. Again, right? So you talk about where do you stop? But when you're putting people's lives at risk, it makes no sense. But as you say, right? In fairness, give them the credit where credit's due. We hope that, and we believe there's one person in the Paris Marathon organization who has a brain cell and would have seen that footage and gone, "Here, lads, I think we might have cocked this up. Let's put cups back on and tell everybody it's going to be all right. You're going to be hydrated throughout the marathon." I hope that they saw the furore that was probably on social media about it, and they've actually made the decision that actually lives are more important than a couple of paper cups. Let's just hope that's the case. Because I tell you what, if that's the case, I wouldn't do it. I'd tell them to jog on. I wouldn't go and do Paris. What's that all about? It just makes no sense to me.
Well, I'll go. I'll tell you what. I'll go and see what happens, and then I'll.
Okay, let us know how you get on.
Yeah, I'll
Cheers.
be the guinea pig.
No,
Yeah.
we don't want no more Wilco wobbles, mate. That's
That's
no
the thing.
more
It's
Wilco
serious.
wobbles.
It's just, I'm being serious.
No,
you
we
don't-
don't.
you
I
just
know.
don't know.
I know.
And look, just to finish on that point, like Midland Matt's just made it. You know, if Paris organisers really want to be green, set aside 1,000 places for people who use public transport to get there from their homes. You know, stuff like that. And again, credit to London Marathon heroes. The green zone thing. Don't bring a bag. Don't bring this. Rock up in your kit. You get, you know, whatever it is they're giving you. Crack on. That's the sort of stuff that will make a difference. You know, not trying to, you know, dehydrate people so they don't finish and you don't have to give them a medal or whatever you're trying to achieve. I don't know what it is, what the plan is there. But anyway, okay. Last question for you all, basically, because I think Hayden's upset everybody tonight.
I've done nothing. It's you. I've been in a good mood. It's always you. You've basically got rid of runners. The Runners World are never going to sponsor the podcast.
They never
People
were.
Right.
The people at Paris Marathon are never going to invite you over to go and run it. And all physios and doctors hate you. So
no, I like physios. I like the physios.
Physios are now overrun.
No, we gave the physios.
It gave an excellent plug for the physios in Hartford.
Yeah, Carlton Georgia loved them. Said I like the doctors on the National Health Insurance, but you've got to have a plan when you go in. That's all it was. It was simple advice. Okay. It's consumer advice. I'm just giving back.
It's like the watchdog for runners.
What's that?
Watchdog for runners.
Yeah. That's true, actually. It is a bit like this, isn't it?
Oh,
if you've got anything you don't think's right, send it into I think this is total bollocks at gmail.com and we will pick that up and we will address that here on this channel.
I mean, I've got time right over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
The question is, do you think it's sensible us being live anymore? It is true, though, isn't it? Anyway, they all deserve it. They all got what they deserve. Writing stupid articles, just that infuriates me. It does. You know, there's so many people now coming into running. It's brilliant. It really is genuinely brilliant. I see so many people at lunchtime running. You know what I mean? Like, it's fantastic in the mornings. I walk to work. They're out running, and it's great. You know, young people, old people. It's fantastic. What has come out of like post-COVID, you know what I mean? And this big drive of all the people, the advertisers, you know, pushing running, park run, everything. It's brilliant. But then when you start seeing stupidity like that article, right? And then, you know, some of this other crazy stuff that's coming out that people, and I don't know why we listen to it, but we do, right? We get sucked into this sort of stuff. There's no censorship on this stuff, right? And I think, you know, at some point, someone's got to call it out for what it is, which is just basically nonsense. But I think they've got to be careful. The people have got to be careful because people can get hurt and stuff. And because people listen to this stuff, it's like I see it with running shoes. You know, you see the kids wearing certain running shoes because they've seen it on TikTok and they don't realise that person's getting paid a what's it load of money from that brand to wear that stuff, right? And people still don't get that. The fact that that's just nonsense. The great thing is now is a lot of the brands are stepping away from that because they've realised that people are like not thick. But there are still people out there who will go out and buy a pair of, I'm not going to name the brand, but a brand. Careful, Hayden. And they'll go and run in them and they're no good. And a classic example, I saw a geezer running yesterday morning with his mate, two young guys, right? Again, fantastic. They're both out there. He was in a pair of shoes, right? He clearly has not done any research. It was like that the foam that he was, and I'm just looking at his calf muscles, and you could tell that they were screaming. But his pronation was so bad in these shoes, but they were exactly the same as his mate, and that's obviously why he's got them, right? And he's seeing other people wearing them, similar sort of age and all that sort of stuff, similar sort of influence, and you just think to yourself, it's just like rule 101. You're going to be in the physio and you're going to be moaning about your knee, which is your IT band, and it goes boom, 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 boom. It goes back to that same sort of stuff. So that's where, again, it's got to be censored. But the good thing is, right, I think nowadays, a lot of people are wising up to a lot of this, which is good. I do think there is a little bit more coming through that people have seeing the light, I think. But as I said,
and we've got Runners Watchdog as well, helping people out. We're there for people. We're there to expose.
I just get upset when a big publication comes out with something that really, who's checking that? Do you know what I mean? In terms of all that sort of stuff. Anyway, hopefully this has been educational. Hopefully you enjoyed us being back live. Next week we've got a really good interview coming up, which Hayden's recording. Hayden, do you want to give him a bit of a sneak preview?
Yeah, we're going our series of Beneath the Bib, where we talk to everyday runners and get their stories. And we're speaking to a young lady. When I say she's been through the mill, she's been through the mill. Honestly, tune into this one. It is something else. And running has played a massive part in her basically surviving life. So yeah, it's definitely
incredible.
Fantastic.
And I would say, if you've not checked out the club TV channel, right, it doesn't matter if you're a club member or not. We don't really care, because the stories of the people. I mean, Wilco, you've done it, interview people. Ben, you've been on it. The stories that are coming out of real people, right? You know, and the tough stuff they've been through, but also the positive stuff that they've been through, and how running has been that positive thread through their lives, and they've turned stuff around. And as you say, genuinely, like, people have saved their lives and stuff like that. And you know, there are some really incredible stories to listen to. Each episode's like half hour long, but we try and pick some off to put out on, like, so let's say the main channel as well, because they really are truly inspiring stories from people within the club and community. And it's a testament to what we have within 40 Runs, that we're made up with all these remarkable people, really, that support other people as well. So it's phenomenal. Look, we really appreciate you lot tuning in. We really appreciate all the support that we get for this podcast. We really appreciate Runners World for the email that we're going to get. But no, seriously, we'll be back live. I think next month we've got a live show. I can't remember when it is, what week it is, but we'll be coming out. We've got some really good, shows coming out. So make sure you stick around for them. If you're interested in checking out your local social running group, they're free to join. All the 40 Runs running clubs are free to join. So go over to our website and find out where that is. You can obviously become an affiliate member and get your 15% off at sportshoes.com if you want to do that. But yeah, we appreciate all of you. Thank you very much, boys, for joining me tonight. And we shall see you all soon.